Hey, Sens fans, welcome to this week's Centennial Weekly Wrap Up. And today we're going to discuss one of the big news pieces of this week, and that's Daniel Alfredsson, the GOAT, rejoining the Ottawa Senators. We're also going to talk about Ottawa's new sponsorship agreement with CIBC, and then we're going to recap what went wrong in that season opener against the Carolina Hurricanes and what to expect for Ottawa's home opening weekend. So we're going to jump right into it. We're actually going to start off with the season opener recap. It was a 5-3 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes, as I know many or all of you are aware. And so, kicking off with that, I'm going to give it to other Matt and get his comments on the season opener.
I it was it was a game for sure. It really shows the difference between like a cup contender and a bubble playoff team. Um, Carolina was really good. Somebody, I think it was Micah, had said, you know, they're so good at smothering, and then had like a graph, and it's just, they wear you down. And that first period from the Sens was excellent. I was really impressed by what they were doing. They just kept going at Carolina. And then as the second period rolled in, and then the third period, you could see the energy and like the tenacity of the team sort of peter off. Um, some of our top guys didn't show up nearly as much as you would hope. I thought the defense was a little lackluster. It left a lot to be desired, especially considering that top four should be, as it is on paper, disgusting. It should be awesome, and I just felt like they kind of got worked. And once again, you can sort of chalk that up to them being Carolina being a cup contending team, but at the same time, you also have to realize like we have a good team here, and I didn't see enough from some of the forward core. We were discussing this prior to recording. I just didn't really see anything from Tarasenko. I didn't really like Kastelik's game at all. Schmeichel would have been much more useful than both of those guys. And it was a bit unfortunate. And I did see a lot of Corpusalo slander after the game. And I'll put it out there. If you have a problem with more than like one of the goals he let in, you probably don't know what's going on.
You can take it up. You can
Yeah,
take it up with Matt after the show.
catching across your body is a stupid way to make a save. It absolutely is, and it's not effective. And I say, yeah, Corpusalo, that was a dumb move. The rest of them, they were like, you couldn't really do much about him. I thought he had a good game. The stats don't jump off the page, but he gave us a chance to win. He had over 40 shots. What do you
Yeah.
really expect there? So
And one note on that too, like on the game as a whole, I believe it was like 10 scoring chances that the Sens had the first period, and then for the rest of the game they had four.
yeah,
So Carolina's defense really woke up. I'm sure Rod Brindamore had something to do with that, and they smothered Ottawa in the second and third periods. But yeah, Bennett, I'll get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it was obviously not the start of the season that we all hoped. The much vaunted new look Sens defense that we were all excited about coming into the season looked a little flat. Carolina kind of played through them and around them. Like Matt said about Corpusalo, I don't really lay any of this on him. It's his first game. He didn't get a ton of help. If you face 40 shots, it's usually not really your goalie's fault if you lose. I think if you face 25 shots and you ship 5 goals, that's a problem. If you get scored on 5 times by a good team and you faced 40 shots, it's like that's gonna happen. Yeah, I agree. Tarasenko left a lot to be desired in his Sens debut. There were other players that looked a little bit not quite at it yet. But I mean, guys like Timmy and Brady were absolutely bringing it. I mean, Brady didn't get on the score sheet, but Timmy did with a great little, short side goal. But it was really the bottom six guys, Kelly and Matthew Joseph, continue on some of the form he put together in the preseason that chipped in with a couple of other goals. So Yeah, I mean the center depth is look, it sucks not having Pinto and Norris in the lineup. It really stinks. And it looks like it because there after Timmy there is a colossal drop off in quality down the middle. And until we get that sorted, it's gonna be a big old problem.
But we're going to turn to some good news, which I alluded to early on, and that is Daniel Alfredsson joining the club. Obviously, spent the majority of his career in Ottawa. We're going to pretend he spent all of it in Ottawa. And yeah, he rejoins the club. Steve Stais announced that it wasn't really like a specified role, it was a blend of coaching and player development. He was skating with the players on practice ice. Um, that's cool. I mean, I like it. I'm glad that Daniel Alfredsson is working with the players. Obviously, Ottawa's core is still quite young. So having a guy like Alfie come in and get to work with them, I think that's a huge win for the organization. And I think we all knew it was coming at some point anyway under new ownership, but it's nice to actually see that happen. So, Matt, what were your thoughts on seeing Daniel Alfredsson rejoining the Ottawa Senators?
I mean, obviously, it's going to be really cool for any Sens fan, especially considering it kind of seems like it's going to be some sort of coaching role. And previously he has said he'd like to be in the fold when it comes to the coaching side of things and player development, which is great to me. I think he has the ability to be a very good coach. Similar to like Marty St. Louis, for example, because they were both exceptional players. And you look at the captaincy that Alfredsson had, and he was a leader on the bench, and sometimes was telling the coach what they should be doing. If you look back at some of the clips of him being a team captain, for example, and I really think he has the ability to like take the bull by the horns here, and there's got to be like an 11-11 chant home opener, right? Like it just kind of makes sense.
Bennett, how are you feeling seeing Daniel Alfredsson back with the club?
Yeah, it's been really awesome. My wife and I were talking about that earlier. That postnatum uh is that what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm extremely tired. We have a 4-week-old at home. We were very emotional, and when we saw the news and the video, we both teared up a little bit. It means a lot to this town, to this team, to have Alfie officially back in the fold. We know, there were a lot of dark years there at the end of the Melnick era where we knew Alfie was around town and just living his life apart from the team.
He's vibing.
And I mean, listen, like that is his right. He doesn't have to work at all if he didn't want to. I'm sure he's fine. But he doesn't have to work for the Sens. He could do anything he wanted. But we're glad that the bridges have officially been rebuilt. He's back with the team. I think previously there is a postpartum. That's what I was trying to say. Jesus Christ. Okay.
I'm
sorry.
glad you didn't say like postmortem or anything like that.
I have not had a coherent thought in several weeks.
Also, have you mentioned that you've had a kid before, or is this like the baby reveal?
This was the centennial baby reveal.
I think diligent listeners will have seen my like slow descent into madness over the last month, and will have remembered me mentioning that my wife was pregnant previously, and probably would have pieced it together. But yes, I'm a father now.
You've been a father to us. That's for damn sure.
That's right. I mean, I know that it is initially been speculation. It might be like a front office role for Alfredsson, like maybe president of hockey ops, but obviously we saw in the last couple of weeks that position has been filled. And I think that really his strengths are, as you alluded to, best exemplified being on the ice in a coaching and developmental role. He's one of those players. I mean, it doesn't always translate to have, players who are exceptionally, talented throughout their careers transition to coaching. But you mentioned, Marty St. Louis. I think St. Louis and Alfredsson, they're guys who were leaders on the ice when they were playing, but they were also guys who weren't always necessarily the most talented on their teams, but were always the hardest working. And I think that translates a little bit better to the coaching side of things. I mean, Wayne Gretzky has dabbled in coaching throughout the years, but I mean, it's hard when you're like preternaturally gifted to like explain to people how to do what you do. But if you're one of those players who had the talent, but really had to work at it anyway, I think that makes it a little bit easier to impart that wisdom. So anyway, we all we're very happy to see it. It's great. This is what we hoped for. And Lauer promised us that Alfie would be a part of his vision for the team, and here he is. So let's all move happily forward into this new Sens era together.
Now, after the break, we'll be touching on the CIBC deal that the Sens recently announced, and then home opening weekend. I tried to combine that all into one word. It did not work. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. The NFL season is going strong, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking new customers up with an offer that's even stronger. Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instantly in bonus bets. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game day this October. Right now, it looks like my favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, is a plus 136 on the money line this week. And apparently only 37% of people have the Seahawks beating the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if I'd take that bet. But get in on the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5 on the NFL. That's code THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available. For problem gambling, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort KS, licensed partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles, LA. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Welcome back, everyone. As I said, we're going to talk about that CIBC deal that the Ottawa Senators recently announced. So what is happening with that? Well, I'm sure some of you or most of you have read by now. First, they'll be getting a CIBC patch on their jerseys. Secondly, Club Red will now become Club CIBC. The 100 level concourse, Gate 2 entrance, and the valet parking will now all have some sort of CIBC branding that is more visible. And because apparently Michael Anlauer wanted some sort of material component of the deal, CIBC is also donating $500,000 to the Senators Community Foundation, which is great. You love to see that. Apparently the deal all came about because Anlauer had some contacts and he decided to help set that up according to Cyril Leader. And that's how that came all into play and came together. And that's how the deal got done. So Anlauer looking to maybe recoup some of those dollars he lost buying the team maybe. And CIBC banking comes to the rescue for him. So Bennett, I'll throw it over to you. What did you think about that big deal that the organization announced?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think most fans aren't too worried about the financial and sponsorship side of things. I mean, you expect there to be corporate sponsorship in hockey. It's 2023. That's the way things go. I think as well as many other fans, would have preferred for there to be no jersey patches or advertisements on the jersey. However, the CIBC one is pretty inoffensive. If you're not really looking for it, you're probably not going to notice it. So I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah, I mean, good to have, it all helps it, if it makes the team a little bit more competitive, gives them a little bit more flexibility to, make improvements around the arena, hire more staff, whatever. I mean, it's the nature of doing business. So, we're happy to see them bring in some new sources of revenue that don't involve raising ticket prices. So,
yeah, and I believe Cyril Leader also mentioned that Claridge Homes is going to get involved. They had like 5 big sponsors apparently getting involved with the team. Claridge Homes at some point is going to be announced, or I don't know if there's something special with that, or if it's just Claridge Homes coming back as a sponsor. I believe he mentioned Myers as well was one, but on that note, Matt, what did you think about this big deal announcement?
I think it's always awesome to bring in organizations like this, and For me, aesthetically speaking, the CIBC patch looks fine. Like it looks good on the jersey. It blends in relatively well. I have literally no problem with ad space on a jersey. It just needs to like mesh well. And that's that from my perspective is great. I'm glad to see they made a pretty significant business like decision here that I'm sure is getting the Sens some extra dollars and cents, so to speak. And otherwise, being sort of a legit player in the ad space market and stuff like this, like that's always great. I think Cyril Leader is definitely a business savvy fella, and I'm excited that he's on board. And Michael Andlauer himself is like he made his money from being a solid businessman and a good guy. So I think this is great.
Now I'm of the opinion that like I'm not a big fan of patches on jerseys. That said, I knew it was coming. I think my disappointment is that the Sen store at the CTC, and I'm sure the other Sen stores are all selling the authentic jerseys with the CIBC patch on them now. And one of my friends, shout out to Nick, he's also our thumbnail guy. He checked in with the store staff and they said that all the home jerseys will be sold with the patch. However, you can buy them online without the patch. That kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, like it's unfortunately it's how the NHL is going. A lot more teams are seeing that they can sell space on the jersey. Obviously, the NHL is designated just that spot, and they're making sure that they can earn extra revenue. I get it. I'm not a big fan, but I understand it's a business. They want to make money. At the end of the day, I get it. And like both of you guys have said, it's really not as bad as some of the patches I've seen. There are some awful ones in the NHL. And I'm also glad it's not like Betway or some big, company that's a betting company. I think there's so much of that in hockey. And yes, I know we may be sponsored by a certain betting partner. However, my point still stands. And yes, I recognize the irony. So, moving on to the final topic for today, home opening weekend. I'm geared up. I see you guys have 0 Sen spirit, but that is okay. You got
Actually, hold on a second. There's actually a lot of Sen spirit. We're just not wearing it.
It doesn't count. If it's on the wall, it doesn't count. Anyway, no, but 2 games. They got a matinee coming up against Philly tomorrow, and then they have Sunday evening against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm going to both. I'm too pumped. I had to go to
Amazing.
both. You heard it here first, folks. I'm buying every home game. No, I don't. I don't have that financial standing. But how are you? We'll throw it over to Matt first. How are you feeling about the home opening weekend, and what are you looking forward to seeing this team?
Overall, just super excited to be back at the arena, going with some friends. I'm sure we will be linking up there as well. It's great. It's great to have Sens hockey back, and this is definitely a new era, new and exciting era of being a Sens fan and the era of the Senators in general. The expectation is playoffs or pitchforks, and I want to see W's, and we're going to see W's. So that's all I got to say about that.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, Bennett, what are you thinking about this weekend's opening games?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Obviously, hoping the Sens put up a better showing against Philly, a team that are not as good as Carolina. It might surprise you to hear. So yeah, if Carolina's a rough first ticket to start your season with, we're hoping that Philadelphia can be our bounce back game. And then an important game against a divisional rival right after that. So looking forward to it. Unfortunately, my wife and I will not be in attendance because of the aforementioned newborn, but we will be following along at home, and we will be going to games later in the year, just not right now when things are a little crazy.
That's okay, Bennett. You're giving us those TSN dollars.
That's right. That's right. My poor like ticket advisor or whatever through the team was like, "Oh, hey, I see you're not going to the home opener. Do you want to?" I was like, "Yes, I do, but No.
There's a difference between wanting and can I.
Yeah. I would love to go. We both would. But no, we gotta be kicking it at home for this one.
Well, I'm going to be there. I'm really excited to go. And yeah, I think honestly, last home opener last year, it was really great. Obviously, the
That
team
was an
was
awesome
fired
game.
up. It was a
Yeah.
great game. A lot of
Great.
fun seeing them rock Boston, who was, I know,
Didn't get
undefeated.
rocked a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They were a hell of a team last year.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, this year a little bit of an easier opener, but it is a matinee game, which I know can sometimes throw players off. But Zach McEwen will be in the lineup, so the Sens will actually be able to roster a full roster, which is great.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, so it'll be good to have a full lineup going. I believe McEwen also mentioned in his media scrum today that having a packed barn is really exciting and the players are going to give it their all. Not that I'd expect any less, but you know, he said it's always easier to get fired up and going when the barn's packed. So it'll be nice to see a near sold out crowd. They have about 300 standing room tickets remaining. And apparently they also have some tickets that are on hold because the Flyers organization had reserved some. But they're gonna be releasing those tomorrow if they have a certain amount of ones that aren't used up or what have you. I'm not sure entirely how that's gonna work. So, yep,
Yeah,
get in.
It's classified as a sold out game
It
because we
is.
have a capacity of like 110. Like 110% is our absolutely no bones about it, completely sold out. Like that's
Exactly,
crazy
yeah.
to me.
Yep. So no, it'll be a good game. And if you can't make it to the CTC, if you're out of town or you just can't make it this weekend, hopefully you can watch on TV, cheer on the boys, and see a couple of dubs. So on that note, go Sens go. Thank you for watching or listening. Please check out all our social medias that are listed in the little overlay. And please go follow us on there and subscribe to us on YouTube. And hopefully we'll see you at some games this season.
Go Sens, go.
Go
Go
Sens go.
Sens go.